Hey dudes, did you heard about that new game that is coming out? It is called SCUM.
You mean that game that is trying to be realistic with the third person and outlines around the enemies? Pfft, no thanks.
What are you calling realistic? Having field of view on 65 degree? Human eye has around 170.
Are you calling realistic to have your eyes behind your character and looking directly in front of you? I want real war on my screen. And
Shut up, both of you! Let me explain. Hello YouTube, hello Army, what is up? Eroktic here. In today's video we're gonna talk about three things. We're gonna talk about servers, we're gonna talk about first and third person, and we're gonna talk about outlines on the allies, enemies and the items to loot. We are not gonna go in depth way too much, we're gonna do that a little bit later when we are gonna go over specific skills in the game. But right now I just wanna jump into this debate, what is realistic, what is not, and what options do we actually have. So let's just start with it, shall we? First things first, there was a post on the Reddit where one guy was mentioning how first person is more realistic, like yada yada yada, why you know give us servers, and TLDR developer Mr. Wonderways responded, we agree 100%. That is why we look into the option to disable and enable the outline option, also other various mechanics. Which means we're gonna have dedicated servers that are gonna have, some servers are gonna have third person, but without of the outlines. Some servers are gonna have no outlines and first person only. Some servers are gonna have everything off, even the HUD. We will see. He also said that he's not sure that if we are gonna have that option at the day one, but they are aware of the problems that there are some hardcore players out there that do not want to have their immersion ruined. He also said, regarding servers, we will see if there will be official servers that will have that disabled. So they're not sure if they're gonna run it or we are gonna run those servers. Cannot promise anything. But once it's available, you will be able to set it up for your own server. That is right, ladies and gentlemen.
your scholar will have the power to control over the server.
He gave us two options. You can buy servers from our official server provider Gportal, or once we release the server files, that will enable you to host your own server, but that won't be from day one. That means we will have the option to rent our own servers, and we will have the option to run our own servers. Now there is a lot of debate, yada yada yada, whatever, I'm gonna post everything in the description. You're gonna have the option to lock the servers, to set a password on the servers, so you have a dedicated servers for your own community. And by the way, Skra community is gonna definitely have some servers running from the day one. The another great thing is, on those servers, it is gonna be possible to test a variation of stuff that are happening in the game, so it is gonna be easier for the community and players to understand what the hell is happening in the game. And that is a big plus for a person like myself that likes to test different stuff. The third thing is, you can create your own whitelist. So despite the fact that there is 99% of the Chinese cheaters in the game, and you're gonna have the option to whitelist the people. For example, I am planning to whitelist people to enter on my server that are subscribers only. So every single person that wanna join in the Skra Army server will actually need to have a password. And it will actually need to have a linked character with a subscriber account on Twitch. Which means if somebody is hacking on a server, you can ban him and you can know exactly who that person is, what was his email, what was his Twitch ID, you can know everything. Basically, it is gonna nullify the griefing on a zero, which is a great thing for streamers also. But I'm still not sure am I gonna play only on the Skra servers or we are gonna go incognito on the different servers, infiltrate their system and their routine. Do you remember in the last video how I was talking about that you can play a god, cause elemental disasters and spawn random enemies on the map? If you're gonna run your own servers, there is a big chance that we are gonna have that privilege. Like devs, GMs of the servers, like server host will have the ability to cause random events on the map. I do not want to dream too much, but this seems tasty! Now when that's done, I wanna talk about first versus third person. Devs tried to explain multiple times, I'm gonna try to explain it one more time what is happening in the game. And by the way, I completely understand both sides. And people that wanna go play only first person and people that wanna go play with the third person and people in the middle that understand what is happening. The only thing that I do not understand are people that are for first person only but do not understand what is going on. So let me explain to you one more time. The only possible way how to duplicate real-life realism into the game is with virtual reality. It is impossible to create the immersive feeling on the screen. You're standing right here. Human eye in real life can see around 170 degrees, and it is impossible to add that degree in a first person. So they have added third person so you can actually see that angle. But they have added different layers of vision that depends on the percentage. Which means if you're in third person and somebody is standing on far right, the game will not render that person or that item to you. You will actually need to look in that direction so the game renders the object or the enemy to you. All of those different layers of vision have something to do with the vision in a game. So basically this is 65 degree right here. And this is your first person. If you're standing behind the cover, your eyes will be hitting right here and it is gonna be impossible to see anything else. And this is, by the way, early footage. In the latest footage they have shown us that this whole thing is gonna be blurred out. So it is gonna be even harder to you to see what is happening. It is really hard to explain it on paper, but in practice it is genius. And by the way, this right here, this 5%, it is called tunnel vision. When you're entering in a first person and when you're holding your right button, you're entering in that focus state. And everything is gonna be even darker because you're like peeking. You will be able to see further, but with the debuff that you cannot see surroundings. So for example, if you're standing right here, and you're in third person, you will not see your enemy, you will not see the enemies, you will not see the items, you will not see anything, because game will not render it to you. It is not what is on the screen, the game is gonna render it to you, because they're gonna deny it, because it is impossible to see the enemy. If you actually look on that side, then you're gonna see it, then the game is gonna render it. And not just that, me personally, I need to wear glasses. But person that is standing right next to me has a perfect sight, aka my awareness is not good enough as his, right? That means, for example, in the SCUM you cannot expect if your body calls out there is an enemy north 255, because your awareness level is low enough, there is a chance that the game will not render that enemy to you. Because your awareness is not good enough. His is. He can see it, you cannot. That is the realism that they're trying to make. And I completely understand them. And I'm giving them huge respect because they're trying to do what is right. Ladies and gentlemen, that type of a perspective that those devs have is called game balance. But if you're that type of a person that wants that first person only, I do not want to see my character, knock yourself out, go play on the first person only servers. And now let's talk about outlines. I completely understand people that are against those outlines, and I completely understand the devs. But you also need to understand one thing. SCUM is survival RPG that is based on survival. SCUM is not survival realistic simulator. What is called tactical skill in SCUM, there was a pulse in the division. In the division, you had a pulse skill. When you pulse someone, you're gonna see him through the wall. Nobody ever had a problem with that type of a mechanic in the game. When you use skill pulse, it is gonna give you that wall hack where you can see where the enemy players are. And basically that mechanic was in the game, so you know exactly where the person is. And it is automatically denying the camping in the game. And I completely encourage any type of a mechanic that is gonna fight against camping in the game. And after a few videos where devs shown us how tactics skill works in the SCUM, right now those outlines are just a theory, and we need to experience that in practice. And I'm gonna repeat the words that the devs said: if some game mechanics are gonna be overpowered, they're gonna nerf it or completely remove it from the game. And that's pretty much it. For all of us that enjoy in the RPG style of a game, you're gonna have our own servers. For those people that like that immersive first person only no outlines type of a game, they're gonna have their own servers. Everyone is happy, right? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Click that subscribe button because we're gonna go even more in depth about skills, and we're gonna talk about weapons and everything. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one. Eroktic out.